What's good, y'all? UW back here again in 2019. Let's get it. Bring y'all more new, fresh content. Now, there's so many sports stories that could have been talked about over the recent years. I'll lay it off. But some of these just write themselves. Now, understand that in this video, while it might be mildly entertaining, I'm going to objectively unpackage a lot of this content. Because you hear people on all sides, some people with agendas, some people with not, some people that got their own opinions. That's not what you're going to hear. No. We're going to look at the analysis of the situation at hand and all the information that came out. Now, I'm so glad that I waited until this past weekend. At first, I'm going to be honest with y'all and tell y'all the track record of my level of interest. At first, had zero. I was like, even going back with the Pittsburgh Steelers, look, Pittsburgh was a mess. The locker room was mess. I didn't give a damn. I didn't care, right? Reasonably so. What was Pittsburgh really doing? They were a playoff team, but, they lost. Oh, well, AB was one of the best receivers in the game. Cool. But they also had the issue with Le'Veon Bell, so I'm like, something's going wrong with the Steelers. And I think it was showcased. I can talk a little bit at the end about week one. Normally, I don't go by week ones. But that week one versus the Pats, that beatdown, that smackdown was imperative for validation of what y'all already knew. We'll unpackage that a little bit as we go on with this AB Saga, right? So Antonio Brown wants out. Don't blame him. Something's going on. He's like, wait a second. He balled out in the Steelersville. But AB, not an exact same situation as Anthony Davis, but I agreed with AD, who I think was, for years overrated, even though now I think he's coming to now and I think he's legit. I still don't have him as high ranked as other people. But AD, AD, he can ball. He can ball for real. I thought that some of his stats were inflated. AB, on the other hand, is a little bit in an elevated situation. AB kept balling. You can say, well, he got all the targets. Bruh, he was the number one option. Defenses game plan for him. And he was still torching folk. He was still getting... Bro, do y'all understand what he was doing to teams? He was still gutting defenses, still exposing folk like Jerry Rice, like Megatron Calvin Johnson, like Randy Moss, like T.O. Terrell Owens, like doggone Chad Ochocinco Johnson, like all the greats. He was still getting it. Mike Orvin, all them. Mike Orvin, whoever else, all the legends. He was targeted. They knew what was coming, and they couldn't stop him. It's like Rob Gronkowski. You knew what was coming with the Pats, and they still couldn't stop him. Wes Welker, you knew what was coming, still could not stop this man. Now, Pittsburgh Steelers and him have a falling out. Of course, it's going to be made ugly because both sides want to protect their brand. Because everything's about brand in the NFL now. We've become so damn corporate that it's about brands, including the players. It's about brands. You say, well, doesn't the NBA do? Not like this. It does not get ugly like this unless players are forced for it to get ugly because organizations want to play games. NFL's been doing this nonsense. This is nothing new for the NFL. I can make a number of videos on my issues with the NFL, even though it's a roster as football. But I have a number of issues with their corporation, which is why a lot of people are viewed more favorably on the NBA. And even though MLB ain't what it once was because of their own issues, a lot of people have a lot of issues with the NFL. That's why you don't really hear too much, clamor for another basketball league major. You hear some, but most people are like, the NBA. Yeah, absolutely. Best players, cool. MLB, y'all don't hear jack for another league in baseball. You like, it's the majors. Partially because they actually have a minor league system, but that's a whole other topic for discussion. You don't hear it for the NHL. You don't hear it from the MLS. Why is it that you don't hear it for the MLL, the Major League Lacrosse. Every other major sport organization in the United States and in North America, you do not hear this from. But you do when it comes to the NFL because the NFL has problems. So, moving on. AB, this whole thing gets ugly. They focus. I didn't so much care because I was focused more on because the Le'Veon Bell thing was to me was a hell of a lot more intriguing. What the hell are y'all doing, Pittsburgh? Both of your players? That's a telling sign. Besides Big Ben, you had a three potential Super Bowl or dynasty building stuff, and you get nothing from this level of talent. It's like it's not as historically as indicting, but it's almost as bad as the Detroit Lions when you have arguably the greatest running back in Barry Sanders of all time. And you do absolutely nothing. You don't get this man an offensive line or nothing. You do nothing. When you have these special talent, all-time great players, and you do nothing, you're resting on your laurels because you had Big Ben and they got Super Bowl winning. But now, dog, that was a decade ago, damn near. Now, who cares? Especially when you're supposed to be competing against the Patriots, competing against the Chiefs, competing against the Chargers, right? Competing against the Ravens and whoever else you want to throw as top contenders. Especially, again, Ravens, Browns, Bengals, in your own division. Many media are pushing that they're the best team. Are we sure about that? Anyone in your division could come out on top. I don't have the Steelers as a lock to win that division. Do you? So keep that all in mind, right? So this plays out all last year. It gets ugly and eventually goes into the offseason. The Oakland Raiders, who are eventually going to be the Vegas Raiders, sign him. All this guaranteed money. Now, when will sports teams learn this? When will players learn this? Well, players know it. Different athletes, different fighters, or whatever, they know it. This is, in retrospect, because this turning down to 30 million, people are like, oh my gosh, the 30 million guaranteed. How could you be so? That should have been the first sign that something was up. Okay? Something was up. When this man is affecting his own pockets. No one goes out for 30 mil. In parallel, and I can talk about the Andrew Luck situation. I may need to do a separate video on that tomorrow or so, whatever. I could definitely do that because there's a lot I have to say over the years about Andrew Luck, who is not one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league, but got to put respect on the young man's name on what happened in that tragic situation, right? So, in parallel to Andrew walked away from a lot of money. AB was upset. The man got 30 mil guaranteed. That's no little chump change in any league, especially the NFL. That's some life-changing money. It's not the greatest thing. It's not 100 mil. It's not $1 billion, but it's still $30 million. I mean, shoot, Ezekiel Elliott, again, another video, was fighting for half of that a year. You know what I'm saying? He got 50 guaranteed, but you get my point. Like, 30 mil is good money, bro. He was willing to kind of piss that away. The question mark, all these attacks against his character and da. I'm sitting going, okay, now this is intriguing. First, it started, the whole thing with the cryogenic kind of thing with his feet, and you just sitting there like, AB, that's kind of stupid. Like, what's up? Because he doesn't seem stupid. Really, he doesn't. I don't know him like that, but he doesn't. People emit different vibes. He doesn't seem dense to me. So I was like, okay. Then the whole thing about the helmet in the NFL, I'm like, what's really going on? And then you had this whole thing against with Gruden and the GM and everything, and you're like left with some of us asking legitimate, and it still may be true, but asking a legitimate situation: does he have mental health issues? Does he have CTE? Like, for real? Like, because these are not normal. But you could say he's narcissistic. Fine, maybe he is. Maybe he is. He could legitimately be. There are a lot of narcissists, like population wise. It's a minor portion of the population, but everything is filled with a bunch of minor portions of the population, right? Like psychopathy, I believe, is up to 4% of the population. Okay, probably sociopathy somewhere along there as well. But there's functioning narcissists. Okay, so maybe he's a narcissist. Cool, whatever. He needs some help. We all need help. We all have our flaws. But now this is becoming a level of mental health. You're just sitting here like you are concerned about this young man. This is self-destructive behavior. Raiders decide to sever. Who's going to pick him up? Right after he gets severed from that tie of the Raiders, who are going to go nowhere. No disrespect to Derek Carr, but my God, can they not put together? I mean, again, just like it's almost like AB's trying to get off the sinking ship. All right, he saw that the sinking ship was the Steelers. He saw that the Raiders were the sinking ship. And so he used his leverage and power plays to get the hell up out of Dodge. Because AB is not trying to waste all his prime years. He's trying to get a ring. He's trying to get that wealth. And he's trying to do it better with less harm on his body. Guarantee y'all that's his mindset. And this dude out here hiring PR folk, this dude out here hiring analysts. Wait a minute, business managers? Hold on, pump the brakes. This man is running a business. Some saying this was a finesse of the NFL. And what was? The Patriots, the Pats of all organizations signed him. Now this is imperative to understand why it's the Patriots and why this is so monumental. This was that 4D chess advanced checker stuff. Bill Belichick back at it again. Emperor Palpatine. I don't want to call him Darth Sidious because he's not, but Tom Brady, Darth Vader, Emperor Palpatine, Darth Sidious. This guy out here, some people saying Game of Thrones. This man out playing the next level. And this is why the Patriots have stayed in the dynasty that I said should have fell off 5 years ago. Because they make moves that other teams aren't willing to make moves. They have a culture that other teams, they get people to buy in. They've done this with Randy Moss. Oh, Randy Moss, the narrative that, the Patriots have to have guys who are their way. Julian Edelman. They had Randy Moss. They had Chad Ochocinco Johnson. They had plenty of folk who are problem people. But they make it work. Why? Because they have a coach. Because they have Bill Belichick running this game. This man is running football business. Business. He making business moves. He making, as Cardi B says in what's the song? Y'all know I make money moves. But for whatever reason, the song, the title Super Bowl. But no, I'm not a Cardi B fan. But come on, y'all know what I'm talking about. Anyways, this man out here is making business moves. This man out here is the Mark Cuban of the NFL. That's what Bill Belichick is. Everybody else is playing these little games. If y'all One Piece fans, these little pirate games. They playing these little football games. Bill Belichick is playing grown man games out here. There's a couple other teams like the Rams that's trying to do something. But a lot of these other teams, or you have the Seahawks begrudgingly trying to do something. You have the Cowboys begrudgingly trying to do something. The Browns trying to figure out how to do something. The Patriots doing this. They should have been fell off. They done won like last year. They didn't have the best team, but they did whatever by any means necessary. If you want to say selling the soul for the goal, I don't care. The Patriots are doing this damn thing, and they just finessed everybody. How the hell dream matchups besides OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr., and Antonio Brown, AB. Besides them together, which good job on the Browns by getting Jarvis Landry and OBJ. Good job on y'all. That's what the hell I'm talking about. Y'all making football moves. Good job on the Rams last year when y'all locked and loaded. Got y'all to the Super Bowl. Good job. Good job on the Chiefs. You got Patrick Mahomes. You got Travis Kelce. You got the only dumb move is they let Kareem Hunt, and then part of the reason why they lost because you don't let one of your best players go. But good job on that. Patriots. They have Josh Gordon and AB. They have Josh Gordon and AB. Where they do that in the NFL? Where do they do that? When you have two of the top 5 best receivers in the game? How? Y'all, excuse me. I got too hyped for a second. Y'all just allow the Pats of all organizations. This is how you sustain a dynasty. You do power moves like this on the low. You water down the value. This is why this is business, ladies and gentlemen. You water down the value of the stock. You understand. You put out the news that it's bad business. And then you buy low and you strike hot. And then you leave everybody else going, how the hell did they do it? Every great business does that. The Pats are running like a damn business. Dog, the way they made it, AB on his way out the league, and they played the media. You know who got played? It was the mainstream media. Y'all got played. Y'all propagated the Pats agenda. Y'all propagated Patrick. Oh my goodness. Y'all propagated the rhetoric. Y'all followed the narrative. They played them like a fiddle. AB played them. Belichick played them. And here's the thing. Max Kellerman did a beautiful job of breaking this all down. The Patriots wanted him, but the Steelers weren't playing ball. So they did this mess. This was one of the greatest orchestrated moves I have ever seen in sports, if not the greatest. I'm not being prisoner more. To pull this off on two teams, fam. How you do this? Before y'all want to say conspiracy, first of all, conspiracies, you got to understand the definition of what a conspiracy is. That's the number one. But number two, conspiracy. Okay. Oh, they. How do you have just the same amount of money as his guaranteed money, pretty much? 9 million guaranteed. And if this works out, you got a $20 million player option. This man posts on Instagram, AB does, that moolah. How can you piss away $30 million? When you have a fucking underhanded guarantee under the table. This is some pirate stuff. Like, this is the stuff, y'all know I'm into One Piece if you want a fan of my channel. This is some One Piece level shit. Alright? This is like people say, this is some Game of Thrones. This is Lord Baelish. Alright? Littlefinger. That's his stuff. This is the Spider, Varys the Spider. This is some next level thought. This is playing plays upon plays, knowing what the other person's gonna do better than they know themselves. This is the stuff you see at what Floyd Money Mayweather Jr. do. Muhammad Ali. A lot of the greatest minds and fighting IQs ever in the martial arts do. This is what they do. They know what you're gonna do, and they play off of that. And in fact, they entice you to do it so that you can get what they. Oh my gosh! This AB Saga. Hopefully, it is a lesson that fans stop playing this game where they fall for the okie doke. So many media outlets are fans first instead of sitting back and thinking as fans. And then of course other fans, they fall in line, in line with different narratives, or they get caught up in the emotions and stuff. And I don't blame them, because that's the information we're being fed. And use the keyword fed. I always find this very, very convenient. This whole situation was very, very convenient. Okay? If you understand, like, business, this made no sense whatsoever. This entire thing was a bunch of misdirection. It made no sense. I've always viewed it, I was like, this is weird, man. This is weird. And this isn't revisionist history. If y'all know how I think, y'all know my channel, you know me, you know how I get down. Logic, reason, facts, and evidence. Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't have it that he was going to necessarily end up on the past. But I remember one of my brothers, like, kind of a few days ago, was like, yo, the past, when you look at things, you have to take things logically, especially when it doesn't add up. When the answer you get, even if it's illogical and irrational, still doesn't add up. Okay, for example, let's just go in the context. I won't go anything like murder. I was going to go that, but I'll go into business context, right? Let's say Starbucks, right, who's known for coffee. Keep that in mind. This is what they're known for. This is their bread and butter. This is what the company does. They said, we're going to effective January 1st, 2020, stop serving coffee. That's your reaction. Wait a minute here. How the hell are you going to take away your main? We're going to go into, we're going to move to where pastries. And that's what they start. They start to, they seemingly focus, people speculate they're going to go into pastries, right? You're like, that doesn't really sit. There's plenty of others. Even Dunkin' Donuts has coffee. Like, what are you doing? Right? That was point number one. They set you up. That's the setup, right? Step two. Starbucks, the stocks fall because of this information. People out. They're out, right? Step two. Step three. Starbucks starts to seem like the information that they're going to close down a bunch of stores. That's seeming self-destructive. What the hell? What is Starbucks doing? At this point, a guy like me is sitting back going, if I had the capital, I would do something. It's where venture capitalists do. It's where guys like Donald Trump and different ones make their money, right? Step four. We don't get to January 1st, 2020. We get November 2019. Somewhere like November 15th, just in the middle of the month. Starbucks unleashes a new line of, it opens up multiple stores and certain populations. What do they offer? They offer a variety of things. They offer a deli. They offer pastries and stuff. Starbucks switched up its game. They took the phone. Is coffee still there? Yes, but Starbucks never said they weren't going to ever sell coffee. There's what they actually said. If you go back to my, hypothetical, is that all the the headlines was that, right? But if you actually hear the reps and the business folks said the actual focus will no longer be on coffee. Devil's in the details. You always have to pay attention to the details, ladies and gentlemen. Unexpected one to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts on this whole AB saga. I would love to hear what y'all have to say because when are people gonna learn and stop being stupid and stop falling for the okie dokes of these horrible information being pushed and propagated by mainstream media with these known agendas, ladies and gentlemen? There are plenty of known agendas. You have people with these talking heads that know less than us. Now I don't mind watching these shows, but come on. You got people out here not being journalists. That's the truth. Report the facts. Stop falling for the opinions. Go where the trail leads. Go down the rabbit hole and never, unless there is a factual evidence, do not fall as if it is fact. Never allow opinion to be fact, ladies and gentlemen. All right, y'all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night. Peace.